What's up, y'all? It's your boy eBay Predictions. I will be talking about the UFC Fight Night Overeem versus Sakai card. This is a dope card. We have lost some fighters. I forgot who got injured, but this card is what it is. It's not the greatest card in the world, but I think there's going to be some entertaining fights. If they would have one showcase fight, there is one fight on this card I will be doing a prediction for, but it's a rumored fight. It's not been confirmed yet. Is Ovince Preux versus Alonzo Menifeild. So if that never happens, it is what it is. I'm still going to give you guys my prediction on it. But we start off the card on the prelims versus obviously I'm getting my information from Tapology, so if I might be wrong, it is what it is. So just deal with it. But we start off the card with Marcos Dilemma versus Alexander Romanov. Marcos comes in 17-6. Heavyweight. These are two heavyweights, by the way. Fights out of Brazil, age 35, height 6'1", and reach to 75. Alexander's 11-0. Fights out of Moldova, age 29 and height 6'2". Alexander's coming off a win over Sergio Fertitas. And Marcos Dilemma is coming off a win over Ben Sassoli. Has losses to Stefan Struve, not too recently. I think that was last year. And Alexander's obviously undefeated. This kid's a prospect, this boy Alexander, man. He is is he a fucking good wrestler. There's not a lot of heavyweights in the world that I've seen as and I'm a wrestler, that, man, just picks people up like that, and just like the disrespect. First of all, you see me, you make a choice to slam somebody. Whenever I pick somebody up in a wrestling match, I'm pretty nice about it. I don't slam them. It's all theatrical. You don't have to slam them. You can just get them in a really good position. You could kind of get like a half Nelson if you slam them right, or you could get a decent pin off of that. You don't need to fucking slam them. Or, in jiu-jitsu terms, you could just put them on side control really nicely. But this guy fucking slams people just because he likes it. Marcus Limit seems like he has had problems with grapplers. I'm going to be going Alexander Romanov just based on what I've seen from this kid. This kid's a fucking killer, and I think he's going to win this. Next fight, Cole Smith versus Hunter Azura. Cole Smith comes at 7-1. This is a bantamweight fight. Hunter is 8-1. Cole fights out of Canada. Hunter fights out of Phoenix, Arizona. Cole is 31. Hunter's 28. Cole has a reach of 67. Hunter has a reach of 70. In terms of recent wins, Cole's most recent one was against Mitch Gogan, and Hunter Azura's most recent win was against Brad Katana. And in terms of losses, Cole Smith has only lost to Miles John via split decision, by the way. And Hunter Azura is coming off a knockout loss against Brian Kelleher. Let's talk about Hunter Azura. I know a lot of people picked him to beat Brian Kelleher. The kid, man, I did my research on him, man. Four-time state champion? Like, that's some, he has a high-level wrestling pedigree. I'll say that. It's so fucking hard to even make the state championships, let alone winning 4 of them, right? So give him his credit. He got knocked out bad, though, against Brian Kelleher. Cole Smith, if you haven't seen him, I would say he has a similar style. He goes forward, throws a few jabs, will throw a decent right, and will go for that level change and go for a takedown. They fight very similar. They both have a grind style. I would say Hunter Azura has the advantage, but I don't know, man. Coming off a knockout loss like that was a bad knockout. Like, Brian Keller's pretty good, but that was a bad knockout loss. I think Cole Smith does the same thing. I feel like Cole Smith is going to be on the defensive end. Even though Hunter has more fights, I feel like Cole's a better striker than him, or has more tools in there. And I think he's going to basically play the role of the sprawl and brawl. And I think he's going to keep him at the end of his jab. But Hunter, coming off a loss like that, I know he wants to win. So, I want to go Cole Smith really badly. But my gut is telling me to go Hunter. So I'm going to go Hunter. I'm going to go with the favorite by decision. And I didn't give my... for Alexander Romanov versus Marcos Dilemma, that is going to go decision. I see that going decision, too. I just, wrestlers, man, they're not really good. Like, you got to understand, man, wrestlers, they don't yeah, they're not really good at finishing. Like, you got to be a really special wrestler, I think, in MMA to really be able good at finishing fights, even from the ground. So I think both these guys, Hunter and Alexander, they're gonna get decisions. Next fight, Thiago Moises versus Jalin Turner. Thiago's 13-4, fights out of Brazil. I think he's an American top team guy. Age 25, height 5'9", reached 70. Jalin Turner, 9-5, fights out of California, or fights in California. I don't know where. Age 25, so they're both the same age. He is 6'3", though, which is insane for a lightweight. Reached 75, so he does have a 5 reach advantage, or 5-inch reach advantage. In terms of recent wins, Thiago Moises fucking took my soul and beat my boy Michael Johnson in his most recent out. And Jalin Turner's coming off a win over Joshua Kulubu. I think that will be a ground and pound. Thiago Moises' most recent loss was against Damir Asamogolov. And Jalin Turner's most recent loss was to Matt Frevola, which he didn't look too bad. So here's what I'm going to say about Thiago Moises. I think a lot of people are going to be going with him. I don't think he's that good. I think Michael Johnson is pretty good, but Michael Johnson had his way with him. He was literally, like, he was destroying you. Like, you could debate 10-8. Like, there was no offense coming at Thiago. And then, I guess it shows the heart and toughness. He goes for a fucking single leg. Doesn't give up on the single leg, by the way, which is super, super. It's easy to get a single leg, but it's really easy to defend it. That's why it's hit or miss sometimes, but he did not give up on that single leg. And then he hit that fucking ankle lock, and that just took my fucking. Or was it a heel hook, or I don't know. But just took my fucking soul, man. I was washing dishes right over there, by the way. Washing dishes, watching the TV. And I just see that, and I'm like, oh, my God, he tapped. So, he has a win over Michael Johnson. Another loss, by the way, for Michael Johnson on that incredible record of his. But I just don't think he's that good. I didn't see a lot. I might be shocked. Maybe I need to do more research on him. But, like, from what I've seen, he doesn't look that good. And Jalin Turner's not the greatest in the world. He got fucking eviscerated by Vicente Luque at UFC 229. I remember that shit was. He went for some spinning shit, and Vicente punished him for it and taught him a valuable lesson about life. But I think Jalin Turner can beat him. Honestly, man, I think Jalin Turner can. I think he can beat him, man. I think he can beat him by decision, man. If he keeps him at the end of his jab, doesn't get taken down. But the problem is Matt Frevola was taking him down with ease. That's the problem. I don't like Thiago Moises. I'm gonna be honest. I don't like him. I want to go Jalin Turner, I really do. But my heart is telling me Jalin Turner likes getting taken down. I don't think he has the takedown defense. So I'm going to be going Thiago Moises. I'm gonna be with the crowd. I think Thiago Moises. I was really finna go. For a second, I was finna go Jalin Turner. But Thiago, I think he gets a third round sub. Jalen's really, in that Matt Frevola, he was getting taken down. It was almost like, the Luis Pena thing when Luis Pena fought Matt Frevola. He was giving him takedowns. I'm like, what are you guys doing jumping guard like that? You're not, like, judges always give it to top guy. Oh, top guy always wins it. Like, I've never seen a bottom guy win a round, because the nuances in grappling, they don't get it. So it's like top guy's always going to win. I don't understand when fighters do that. But, yeah, third round sub for Thiago Moises. Next fight, Fabinski versus Andre Muniz. Bart comes in 15-3 from Poland, height 6 foot, reached 75. Andre's 19-4, fights out of Brazil, height 6'1", so has a 1-inch height advantage and has a 3-inch reach advantage. Comes in with 78 recent wins. Bartosz is coming off a win against Darren Stewart, and Andre's coming off a win over Antonio Araujo. I was really impressed when he beat Darren Stewart. It was on the Cage Fury card, right? It was the main event. I think it was one of the. They did it on the card. They were supposed to do Leon Edwards versus Woodley, I think, right? So Darren Stewart ended up fighting. Bart, clinched him up and kind of just put it on him, and didn't give up, and kind of did what Deron Wynn tried to do, and had a lot more success in that fight, and just tired him out. Andre, on the other hand, he does that too. to a certain extent, but I've seen him get overpowered in fights. But I've seen him come back. Like, he was getting clinched up in one of the fights I saw him have, and he was able to trip the guy and get some pretty good ground and pound on him and win the fight. I just think Fabinski is better than that, and I think he's gonna put that fucking what's it called, that grind on him, and get him out of there. Next fight, fucking Michel Pereira versus Zelim Imadaev. Michel comes in 23-11. Fights out of Brazil. Fucking a 26-year-old. He's a 26-year-old. Height of 6'1". Reach of 73. Zelim 8-2. Fights out of Russia. Age 25. Height 6 foot. Reach 76. So he does have a 3-inch reach advantage. Both guys' most recent win. Michel's most recent win was against that knockout over Danny Roberts. Zelim has never won in the UFC. He's on a 2-fight losing streak, but his most recent win was against Ivan Gulak in a different promotion. Michel Pereira is also, his most recent loss was against Diego Sanchez, but I don't know, man. I will give one thing. Michel put a decent goddamn account of himself against Diego Sanchez. I thought he was on his way to winning that fight pretty handily, but for me, when I really look at his most recent loss, his honest most recent loss was against Tristan Connolly, which was embarrassment. I felt like my money was stolen in that fight. I felt like I was lied to. I thought I was seeing the next coming of Jesus. I got caught up in the hype. I'm not gonna lie. Zelim's coming off a knockout loss to Danny Roberts. A lot of people are looking at that, and I think that's why people are going with Michel Pereira, because Michel has a win over Danny Roberts, and Danny Roberts knocked out Zelim. Here's what I gotta say. Here's one thing I'm gonna say about Zelim. Zelim was a top prospect coming up when he was going to fight Max Griffin, right? He lost that fight. To be fair, he did lose that fight, but he really lost that fight because of the point deduction, I remember. Obviously, I didn't feel bad for him after I heard what Max Griffin said in the post-fight interview when he was saying about Zelim was trying to bully him, intimidate him by the hotels, and kept trying to fight him and shit like that. So I didn't feel bad for him when he lost. But I think a lot of people are not watching tape, all right? Tristan Connolly, when he fought Michel Pereira, he was able to use some grappling in that fight, and he stayed tough and was able to basically get the juices out of Michel. Michel seems like an easy fighter to figure out. I think Zelim can do that. I think Zelim, obviously, he goes for takedowns in the Max Griffin fight. He did get knocked out by Danny Roberts, but a lot of people act like Danny Roberts don't got a chin no more. Danny Roberts he can knock your ass out, all right? He still got it, in my humble opinion. So I'm gonna actually go against the grain and go Zelim Imadaev by decision. I think he's gonna put that grind on Pereira. I think I'm done. I'm not picking Pereira no more, man. Obviously Pereira's coming off a 2-fight losing streak, but like he really is not really coming off a 2-fight losing because he really didn't lose against Diego Sanchez. But still, like, it's still 2 losses, and I don't know. I don't think he's that good unless he knocks out Zelim, which he can. I don't think he's gonna do it. Like, he might. But let's say he does win this. I'm still picking against him. Like, I don't care. Like, after that Tristan Connolly, that shit's unacceptable. Bro, you're too swole to be losing to that guy. But I don't care. Next fight, Khama Worthy versus Ottman Azir. Khama Worthy comes at 16-6. Fights out of Pittsburgh, age 33, height 5'11", reach 74. Ottman is 12-0. Fights out of Germany, age 30, height of 5'8", reach to 71. Khama Worthy's most recent win was against my boy Luis Pena. That hurt. That's another one that hurt the soul. Ottman's most recent win was against, I think, a knockout of the year contender, right? Against Tamir Paklen on the 242 card. Khabib and Poirier, I think. Khama Worthy is on a really crazy win streak. I will give him that. He is shocking the world every fucking time. Every time he gets in there, a lot of people do doubt the man. His most recent loss was against Kyle Nelson. I think that was a while. I think that was in 2018, maybe. He sounded like a 6-fight win streak, or some shit. And then Ottman's obviously undefeated. So this is a really good fight, and Khama Worthy's been beating everybody. And was it Devontae Smith, his sparring partner? It was 241. I remember that. And he kind of shocked the whole entire betting world, man. He was such an underdog, and he got it done. He got upset of the year in 2019. He just doesn't stop winning. And you know, one thing I love about that kid's mentality is he has this one of these mentalities, killed or be killed. But one thing he said in the post-fight interview was like, I don't care about being a champion. I got kids. I want to make money. I want to make money quick. I don't think I'm going to be in the UFC for that long, so I'm going to make it one hell of a ride. I'm going to put everything on the line, and I'm going to give y'all everything. And I'll give him one thing. He is going for it, and he's making it one hell of a ride. But I don't think obviously striking struck twice, but I don't think he's going to strike a third time. I'm going Ottman Azir. I think Ottman Azir is better than him. I think he's going to put it on him. I think second round TKO, if you want my opinion. I don't think he can beat another prospect like that, like we did to Lewis Payne. I thought Lewis Payne was about to beat him, if I'm being honest, before he got choked out. So it pissed me the fuck off when it happened to my boy Lewis, but it is what it is. I'm going to Ottman Azir. Next fight, Viviane Ajuru versus Montano del Rosa. Viviane comes in 8-2, fights out of Brazil, age 33, height 5'7", reaches 68. Montana, 11-5, fights out of Arlington, Texas, age 25, height 5'4", reaches 68. I don't know if I said this, but I hope I said Viviane's 33. If I called her 25, I apologize. Viviane's most recent win was against Alexa Davis. And her most recent loss is against Jessica I. She kind of got outpointed, got outworked in that fight. Montana's coming off a win over Mario Romero Barella, and has her most recent losses against Andrew Lee. And she has, I think, a win over Rachel Ostovich, I'm pretty sure. So this is a really good fight. But I'm going to have to go Viviane Ajuru. I think Viviane beats her. I don't know. I think Montana's kind of like a little bit one-dimensional. I don't think she has the skills. In terms of the stand-up, she wants to take to the ground, and I think Viviane has an answer for her in the ground. So I'm going to be going Viviane by decision. Girl fights, I don't ever, unless it's a submission threat, it is what it is. It's always you'll see a fucking decision. Next fight, Sijara Eubanks versus Karol Rosa. Sijara Eubanks coming 5-4, number 15 bantamweight in the world. Fights out of Maryland, age 35, height 5'4", reaches 67. Karol Rosa is 13-3. Fights out of Brazil, age 25, height 5'5", and reaches 67. This is an interesting fight. They're both kind of similar. I think it's just weird. In terms of records, you just assume the other girl, Karol Rosa, is 10 times better than Sijara Eubanks, but I don't think that's the honest truth, if I'm being fair to Eubanks. Eubanks and her are kind of very similar. I think Eubanks is just more athletic, if I'm being honest. They both kind of like stand and bang. Well, I wouldn't say stand and bang. They both kind of wait for their. It's really what's it called, footwork game. They jab it out a little bit, and then they'll go for takedowns and shit like that to win rounds. Sijara Eubanks is coming off a win against Sarah Moses, and her most recent loss was against Beth Kochea. Come on, Sijara, don't ever do that again. Karol Rosa's most recent win was against Vanessa Amelo, and her most recent loss was against Melissa Ogado in 2018. I think this is a late notice replacement, actually, so it could Rosa could surprise her, but I think I'm gonna go Sijara Eubanks. I like the things she's changed. I know she lost to Beth Kochea, but if you look before that, she did lose to Aspen Ladd, which was a war. It was a pretty close fight, and I thought Sijara Eubanks showed her a good account of herself against Aspen Ladd, a girl that everyone thinks is the next contender, maybe the future champion. I don't see it, but other people do. So yeah, I think Sijara Eubanks is really good, man. I think she's gonna win this, and I like the people she's hanging around with. She moved to Mark Henry, or she's always with Mark Henry. I might be wrong about that, but I like seeing Mark Henry with her. I think she's Claudia Gadelia's main. Actually, you know who moved to Mark? It was Claudia Gadelia that moved to Mark Henry, and that Sijara Eubanks has been Claudia's main sparring partner. I know Claudia has degraded to all hell lately, but that is a girl that did fight for the title twice and has some pretty good, decent wins in that division. So, next fight. Oh my God, another female fight. Julia Ava versus Nicco Montano. Oh my God, the greatest fight of all time. Julia Ava, 8-1, number 14 bantamweight in the world. Nicco Montano, 4-3 bantamweight. By the way, the former UFC inaugural female champion of the flyweight division. So let's put some respect on Nicco Montano's name, the GOAT. Julia Ava fights out of Oklahoma. Nicco Montano fights out of Colorado. Julia Ava's 32. Nicco is 31. Julia is 5'7". Nicco is 5'5". Julia has reached 69. And Nicco has reached 65. Julia Ava's most recent win was against Gina Mazzani, and her most recent loss was against Marisa Allen in 2018. Nicco Montano's most recent win was against Roxanne Modafferi in 2017. And her most recent loss is against Juliana Pena, who will be fighting, I think, Jermaine Durandamine in October. Oh, man, the career of Nicco Montano. I don't. Man, she keep fighting. You're 31, so you're in your prime. But man, you do got a title to your name. Cowboy Cerrone don't got that. You know what I'm saying? So, that fucking hurts the soul as a Cowboy fan. But this girl is an interesting girl. I'll say that. I've never in my life felt like a girl faked a weight cut not to fight Valentina Shevchenko. That is not probably what happened, but I honestly feel that way. I felt like that way after the fight and before it happened. No, actually, I shouldn't say before it happened. I didn't know it was going to happen, but more or less like right after it happened, right? I felt like that. And then like a few weeks later, I still felt like that. I was cussing this girl out, and then I seen an interview where Ariel Helwani. I still feel like she faked it. I don't care. Or she did something. But I seen it. I felt bad for her with the interview with Ariel Helwani. She's not a bad girl. She did fight Juliana Pena. She went up in weight, so I guess she's sticking by that story. I don't think she's a bad person. Please, Dana, don't ever put a title on the line on Tough. Don't ever. At this point, it's just creating some goddamn people that don't deserve titles. So it is what it is with her. She had a decent fight against Juliana Pena, but Juliana Pena was coming off a pregnancy, and Juliana Pena didn't even look that good in that fight. They both put on a piss poor performance for themselves. I know Juliana Pena is better than that. I was hoping Juliana would sub her, but I guess Nicco Montano is a decent grappler. Here's what I'm gonna say. One fight they should book is Nicco Montano versus Sijara. I don't know why they haven't done that yet. That's a fight I would like to see. It's supposed to happen in the main event, actually, or the finale for Tough. But here's what I'm gonna say about this. I'm gonna go Julia Ava. I think she fights like an idiot. I'll say that, but I think she is a. I don't know how to describe it. She's a fucking professional. I'll say that. She's a fucking professional, and Nicco Montano is not. She doesn't fight a lot. That's one thing I don't like. Even before that fucking Juliana Pena fight, man, she took, 3 years off? Or some shit like that? Or like, it was 2 years since she fought. So that's what I gotta say. She got stripped. She deserved it. I don't feel bad for her that she got stripped. I don't understand how you can talk crazy like that before the fight, like about Valentina Shevchenko saying I'm going to finish her in the second round and knock her out, and then not fight. Like, it's shameful. At the end of the day, the fact the girl held the UFC belt is crazy enough. I'm not going with her to win the fight. It is what it is. Next fight, this is the rumor fight I was talking about. OSP versus Alonzo Menifeild. You guys already seen my first prediction for this, but I'll do it again. OSP comes in 24-14, fights out of Knoxville, Tennessee, age 37, height 6'3", reach at 80. Alonzo 9-1, fights out of Texas, age 32, height 6 foot, a reach to 76. Ovince, whose most recent win was against Michel Oleszczyk. I think that's how you say that kid's name. And his most recent loss is against Ben Rothwell. Alonzo Menifield's most recent win was against Paul Craig, and his most recent loss was against Devin Clark, which I predicted. You see, I've been kind of tossing around, and I've seen other people pick OSP because of the Devin Clark fight. But if you watch that Devin Clark fight, I was actually surprised how well Alonzo did in that fight. I actually thought Devin would do better. and he didn't do as good as I thought he was going to do. OSP's always been this guy. It's like, wow, he's so athletic. Imagine when he develops technique. We've been waiting for a minute, OSP. I'm done waiting. He's very awkward. He's hard to figure out. I always say that. He's a hard fight for anybody. He doesn't make anybody look good unless you knock him out. He's really hard to figure out. But here's what I'm going to say, Alonzo. Alonzo Menifeild is a goddamn truck. He runs over people. And usually guys that have that frame can knock out OSP. Look at fucking what's his face? Jimmy Manuwa. And then look how Lir Latifi dealt with him, right? So I think OSP can lose this fight. He can still win it. He is tough as fuck. I'll never forget that Michel fight or Michael fight, whatever the fuck the kid's name is. When he fought him on the Jacker Master Jerrican near card. Literally, this kid was piecing OSP up in the first round, and all OSP did was look at his coaches in the corners. Coaches was being so weird. This like little fake villain. Go search that up, that villain voice, and tried to hype OSP up, and OSP was like, "Dude, what's wrong with you?" And did not want to be there, but he just fucking toughed it up, and they got that. He took him down and got that blonde food choke. That shit was sick. I was like, I picked OSP to win that fight, but I was like, oh my god, it looked like OSP was finna lose to a dude that looks like a fucking middleweight, you know? So, or a actually an out of shape welterweight. That's what I'll say. Here's what I'm gonna say. I think Alonzo Menifeild has a lot of potential. I will forever be grateful for what he did to Paul Craig. I will forever be grateful for that shit. So I'm gonna be rolling with Alonzo Menifeild, first round knockout. I think he gets him out of there quick. I think that's the only way he wins, really. He can't do it in the decision. So, yeah, I'm going to be going there. Next fight, Rickey Simone versus Brian Kelleher. Rickey Simone comes in 16-3. Fights out of Vancouver, Washington. Age 28. Height 5'6". Reach to 70. Most recent win was against Ray Borg. Most recent loss was against Rob Font. Brian Kelleher, 21-11. Fights out of Selden, New York. Age 34. Height 5'6", or reached to 64, and most recent win was against Hunter Azur, who's on this card. We just talked about him. His most recent loss was against Cody Stamann. This is a fight I've been rolling all over. I don't know who's gonna win this fucking fight. I don't know. I really don't. Rickey Simone surprised me against Ray Borg. I did not see him doing that. At first, I did not see him landing 7 fucking takedowns on him. I know he dwarfed Ray Borg. He made Ray Borg look like a little boy in there. But, like, oh, my God, he picked him up. And Ray Borg's a scrambler. And Ray Borg was on a 3-fight win streak right before that. And he was picking that boy up. Every time Ray would get back up, he'd pick him up and slam him. And it's weird because I remember when I was talking about the fight, I was like, Ray's going to have the advantage on... Rickey's going to have the advantage on the stand-up, and Ray's going to have the advantage on the ground. And it just was the complete opposite. I felt like Ray was landing better, cleaner shots. But Rickey just kept slamming him like he was a nobody. So, here's what I'm going to say. Brian Kelleher, when he fought Cody Stamann, it was a good competitive fight. I thought Cody won every round. But they were close rounds. Even though they were 10-9 for Cody, I thought they were very close. I thought the striking, I gave Cody like the little boxing edge. I thought he was doing a lot better in the boxing. And then the reason why he won that fight to me is he had those well-timed takedowns near the end, and I think that's what sealed the deal. But Brian Kelleher was not far away from him. And Brian Kelleher went on a resurrection tour. He went on a little 2-fight win streak dedicated to Jorge Masvidal. I really think people are sleeping on Brian Kelleher, but the problem is it all depends on how Rickey Simone comes in. If Rickey Simone comes the way he fought Ray Borg, he's going to win this fight. But if Rickey fights the way he fought Uriah Faber and gets his ass knocked out, the way he came in and didn't really do anything besides get hit, I think Brian Kelleher can really knock this kid out. But I think Rickey's gonna. I've been switching and I'm. You know what? At first I was gonna go. I was really gonna tell y'all I'm going with Brian Kelleher, but I can't do it. I don't think Rickey Simone's a fucking retard. I really don't. I don't think he's a retard. I think he's a smart kid. I think he knows what he needs to do. He needs to get some takedowns in. He needs to be really smart. Brian Kelleher is a dangerous fighter. And if Brian Kelleher loses this, we might see Brian Kelleher versus Sean O'Malley. That's a fight I really want to see. And yeah, I'm gonna be going Rickey Simón. Now to the main event. Let me say one thing. This card might be different from how I said it. I really have a feeling that Rickey Simón, Brian Kelleher is not going to be the co-main event. I'm sorry, y'all, and I love y'all. But yeah, to the main event, Alistair Overeem versus Augusto Sakai. I did a breakdown on this fight. Go check that out. I'm going to keep this really, really fucking short. I don't really do this. I kind of talk a little too much sometimes, but I'm going to keep this really fucking short. I'm going Alistair Overeem by decision. Augusto Sakai is a fucking dirty cheater. I don't like him. It is what it is. I don't think he's better than Overeem, and I think this is an easy win for Overeem. I love y'all. eBay predictions is out. And what else? Oh, yeah, one thing. I want you guys to follow my Instagram and my Twitter. The difference is I'm not going to be posting a lot on my Twitter like that. I've been suspended on my Twitter. I ain't gonna lie to you for 5 days for some bullshit. I don't know what I did. I guess I just tweeted out some truth about the NBA, but I'm not gonna talk about it on here. I'm gonna keep my mouth shut about it. And they suspended me for 6 days, so I might not be tweeting out a lot. But on my Instagram, I'm gonna be pretty active. I'm gonna be posting some stuff, so go follow me there. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. eBay predictions out. Like, comment, and subscribe, and share this video. See y'all.